The hills of northern England hold many secrets. The rolling landscape of the Yorkshire Dales, with its winding trails and whispering winds, seems timeless, eternal. To hikers, it's a place of beauty and solitude. But in September 2004, beauty concealed something darker, something no one expected. Hidden in a cold mountain stream, face down in the water, lay the body of a woman. She was half-clothed, barefoot, and utterly alone. For years, no one knew who she was, how she got there, or why her life ended in such a desolate place. The newspapers called her the Lady of the Hills. To the world, she was an enigma. But to one family thousands of miles away in Thailand, she was a missing daughter. This is the haunting story of Lamduan Seekanya, a young woman whose search for love and a better life led her far from home, only to end in tragedy. It is a story of marriage and secrets, of cultural divides, of unanswered questions that span continents. And it is a story that even now, nearly 2 decades later, refuses to let the truth come quietly. Before we dive deeper into the story, subscribe to Grimvault so you never miss the next case. You're already inside, and there's no way out. A new story drops every week, straight to you before anyone else dares to open it. September 20, 2004. The air in the Yorkshire Dales was crisp, autumn just beginning to paint the landscape. A group of hikers walked the Pennine Way near Pen y Ghent, one of the highest peaks in the area. They were surrounded by the raw beauty of the moors. Rolling hills, scattered stone walls, and streams that cut cold veins through the valleys. Stopping for a photograph, they smiled for the camera, unaware of what was in the background. Behind them, the water of a small stream rippled around something pale, something human. Moments later, shock swept through the group as they realized what they were seeing. A woman's body. She was lying face down, partially submerged. Her clothing was disheveled. A pair of green Marks & Spencer jeans, light-colored socks, and a torn bra hanging loosely from her arm. She wore no coat, no shirt, and, perhaps most puzzling of all, no shoes. The location alone raised questions. The trail was remote. The stream was cold, running down from the hills. It wasn't the kind of place you'd expect someone to wander into, especially not dressed like that. Had she been hiking? Was it an accident? Or was she brought there against her will? The police arrived quickly. But the answers did not. Forensic teams combed the scene, but little evidence was found. There were no obvious signs of struggle nearby, no items discarded that might tell a story. The body was examined by pathologists, but the results were vague. Her estimated time of death fell between late August and mid-September. Cause of death? Undetermined. There were no stab wounds, no gunshot injuries, no clear signs of drowning. It was a mystery wrapped in silence. Without an identity, investigators struggled. Missing persons reports from across Britain and beyond were compared against her description, but nothing matched. She appeared to be of Southeast Asian descent, perhaps Thai or Filipino, but no one came forward. The case grew colder by the day. In the small village of Horton in Ribblesdale, locals raised money to give the unknown woman a proper burial. A coroner returned an open verdict. Neither accident nor clear homicide could be proved. She was laid to rest in the churchyard under a simple headstone. Lady of the Hills. The name stuck. For 15 long years, that was all she was known as. But hundreds of miles away, in a quiet farming village in northern Thailand, a family was waiting for a daughter who would never return. Lamduan Seekanya had grown up in Ban Phon, a rural community where her parents, Buasa and Jumsri, worked the land to survive. Like many young women, Lamduan dreamed of a life beyond the rice fields. In 1990, she met a British man, David Armitage, in the city of Chiang Mai. He was an English teacher, Yorkshire-born, and the two quickly fell in love. Their romance moved fast. Within a year they were married, and Lamduan left everything she knew behind to follow her husband to the United Kingdom. At first, life seemed promising. They settled in Portsmouth. David taught at a college, and Lamduan worked in restaurants part-time. She had a son, Kwan, from a previous relationship, And soon she and David had 2 more children together, George in 1992 and Charlena in 1999. But beneath the surface, life in England wasn't easy. Lamduan's English was limited. Her world often confined to the home. Money was tight. She suffered miscarriages, which strained her health and forced her to give up work. Letters sent home hinted at growing cracks in the marriage. By 2004, her relationship with David was deeply troubled. She returned to Thailand briefly that year, staying with her family. In phone calls, she spoke of wanting to return permanently with her children, but she didn't have the money for airfare. When she finally went back to the UK, she phoned her parents one last time. She told them she wanted to come home for good. After that, silence. Weeks passed. Her phone went dead. Desperate, her parents reported her missing to Thai police, but nothing came of it. They had no idea that by then, their daughter's body was already lying cold in an English stream. The years that followed were cruel. With no word from Lamduan, her parents clung to hope. They were so desperate that they fell victim to a con man who promised he could find her for a fee. They sold part of their land and handed over their life savings, nearly £10,000 sterling, 0 pence. The man vanished. Their hope and their money was gone. Meanwhile, in England, the Lady of the Hills mystery was occasionally revisited in the press. A few sketches were circulated. Speculation rose and fell, but no breakthrough came. For locals, she was a haunting presence, a reminder of unanswered questions. For her family in Thailand, she was a ghost who never came home. Finally, in 2019, the Cold Case Unit in North Yorkshire made another push. They released updated images, facial reconstructions of the unidentified woman. The case was given new attention in the media. This time, the images reached Thailand. And a mother recognized her daughter. Jumsri, now in her 70s, saw the face of the Lady of the Hills and knew it was Lamduan. DNA confirmed it. After 15 years, the unknown woman had a name again. The revelation reopened old wounds. Why had it taken so long? Why had no one connected the dots between a Thai woman missing from England and a Thai woman dead in Yorkshire? Her parents accused authorities of failing their daughter, not just once, but repeatedly in both countries. As the case reignited, focus shifted toward David Armitage, Lamduan's husband. By this point, he was living in Thailand, near Kanchanaburi. When journalists tracked him down, his response was cold. "I'm bored with it all," he told reporters. "I just want to get on with work."
Mr. Armitage,
Yeah.
kill your wife. You're an abusive husband, Mr. Armitage.
I'll reply to your email, okay?
He insisted he had nothing to hide, that he would cooperate with authorities if asked, but he also complained that he had been treated like a suspect instead of a grieving husband, claiming he was excluded from the funeral and exhumation process. To Lamduan's family, his detachment felt like indifference. To the public, it raised suspicions. North Yorkshire police worked tirelessly, but the case faced hurdles. International investigations required permission from the UK Central Authority and Thai officials. The COVID-19 pandemic slowed progress further. It wasn't until 2023 that officers finally traveled to Thailand, interviewing family members and continuing their hunt for answers. They carried with them a memorial book created by villagers in Horton in Ribblesdale, filled with messages and photos from people who had cared for Lamduan in death. It was a touching gesture, proof that strangers had honored her memory while her family searched in vain. But David remained elusive. Then came 2025. Thai immigration authorities revoked David Armitage's residency visa, detaining him in Bangkok. His time in Thailand had run out. When he returned to the UK, police were waiting. At Heathrow Airport, he was arrested on suspicion of murder. After nearly 2 decades, the Lady of the Hills case had its first real suspect. David was released on conditional bail as investigations continued. The police emphasized caution, reminding the public that speculation must give way to evidence. Still, the arrest was a seismic development in a case that had stood still for so long. And yet, even with progress, so much remains uncertain. Lamduan's parents still wait to bring her body home, but her remains lie in Yorkshire, tied up in legal complications. They fear they may never get the closure they need. Their daughter's story is no longer faceless, but her death is still a wound, one cut open again each time the case stalls. And in the silence of the Yorkshire Dales, the questions still echo. Why did Lamduan die? Who was with her in those final days? Was she abandoned or was she murdered? And will justice arrive before her story fades again into the fog? Lamduan Seekanya left her village in Thailand with dreams of love, family, and a better life. Instead, she became the Lady of the Hills, an anonymous figure haunting the moors of Yorkshire. For 15 years, she had no name, no story, just a grave marked by mystery. Now, her identity is known, but identity is not the same as justice. As the case moves forward, one question remains. Will the truth finally be uncovered, or will the Lady of the Hills remain forever shrouded in mist? If you want to stay up to date on cases like Lady of the Hills and help us shine a light on the stories that need to be told, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Grim Vault, and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode.